and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
Hey girl, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine. We've been away, like we said last week. We've been away. We've been out of it. Mm-hmm. And now I'm finally feeling like I'm sort of catching up.
Yeah, we've been unplugged from like the news and current events.
Yeah.
And so we'd like to take a little bit of time up top to just catch up on some things that have been happening. So what's at the top of your list?
A thing that I wanted to mention, because I like when we have chances to call this out. Newest won their first music show in 7 years.
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's always so exciting. And they're back together now.
Yeah, they're no longer waiting. They're no longer Newest W. Their fifth member that was in 101 has returned. What is the name of the song that Bet?
It's called Bet Bet.
Bet.
Two
I was
Bet.
close. Yeah, I remember watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been grooving to it a lot this week. It like grew on me really, really hard. I also really liked Deja Vu, so like
I really liked Deja Vu too. And when we saw Newest W at KCON, we were both very impressed with them.
Yes, they're very
Plus,
good.
Newest has done a mashup with 17 before. They have a song called Heaven. Really cool choreography video, and it has like 20 people in it. It's madness, but it's really cool.
That sounds great. So Bet Bet by Newest, like early rec in the episode, I guess. If you haven't given that a watch or whatever, it's like a good catchy song. It has a really cool like whistle in it. It's good. And they won their first show. Good for them. I'm so proud. I'm just proud of people when they make their dreams come true.
When they reach milestones in their careers.
Yes.
Good job. That's on your timeline now.
Good job. Another thing that we should probably talk about, because I feel like I've seen a tweet or two, is like these enlistments, they just keep on coming.
Yep, they keep on coming.
Everybody's got to go to the army this year. It's
and you
crazy.
and I have been like joking for a really long time, when is Schumann going to go to the army? Because he is the same age. No, he's
older than Mino.
Oh, no. I was going to say he was the same age as Jinky, but he's 1 year younger than Jinky. Schumann and I are the same age.
Okay.
But yeah, he is older than Mino, and he's older than Key as well, who also already went. So we were just sort of laughing, like, when is he, twiddling our thumbs, like, when's he going to go? He's finally there. He enlisted, I don't remember the day, but from when we're recording this, it was like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
They had a little goodbye fan meet for him.
Yes, and I wanted to bring that up because one of the things, I think you talked about it last week when we were talking about our trip, is that like the EXO section of the SM store was like cleaned out with the exception of some Schumann stuff. And we felt bad, like, oh, he's left behind. But two people that I follow on Instagram that like live in Korea tried to go to that fan meet because it was like a first come, first serve, get tickets thing or whatever. And like thousands and thousands of people showed up, and they like didn't all get in. The people I followed like didn't get in and like went to a Noraebang instead. But like so many people showed up to try to go to his goodbye fan meet. So like don't feel bad. He is loved.
I mean, I know that he's well loved. I just also know, like, yes, of course he's well loved, but he is also overlooked. Like,
right. No, that's very
undeniable. True. But anyway, they had a fan meet for him, and EXO like showed up and surprised him halfway through.
And Changmin
really
came,
cute.
of course.
Well, that to the fan meet.
I'm sorry. I got confused. Please.
No. Still talking about the fan meet.
Yes, EXO came out.
Yeah, because it was just so Schumann, and so it was kind of like Mino's like best choice, except Mino like toured with that.
Yeah,
this was just a one-time thing. But Schumann did like an EXO medley and like a couple other things, and then the rest of like the other 7 members of EXO came out and surprised him, and they called Lay. And it was, oh my God, I was dying.
That's like the most OT9 content I've had in years.
Yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah.
But it was really very cute.
It was very sweet. And then like the next day he went off, and that's when Changmin was there.
I was just trying to say that like Changmin now that he's back, he seems to be like the professional SM sender offer. Like he's going to everybody's like enlistment bye-byes, like everyone.
But he's also
so
like
cute.
besties with Mino and with Schumann, so it does make sense that he would be there for him.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. He's like the chaperone now.
It's very cute.
The designated good salute.
Yeah. But I gotta say, like, now that we've had so many of these enlistments, like recently, like you know what? It's just not, it's not making me sad like I thought it would. Like, I feel like we got some tweets that were like, Shumani's leaving, like, EXO, no. And I get that. But also, like, Jinki's already been enlisted for 6 months. Like, hey, guys, this shit flies. Like,
also,
we don't have to be so sad.
I see more updates about Jinki now than I ever did before he was in the army. It's insane. Like, it's insane how many. I used to get daily updates from those, like, little letters or, like, news things that the soldiers write every day. Oh my God, it was insane.
And now that he's in that musical, you see him every day. To and from the van, pictures of the curtain call. Like, he's around.
And I see pictures of Mino and I see pictures of Key. Literally today, Boa posted pictures with Key because she was visiting him and she was like, but love you. Like, see you. I promise to visit soon.
And he looks,
which is adorable. He's glowing.
He looks better than he ever has. He's like the prettiest soldier in the whole, like, oh my God, he's so well rested.
He's the sunshine. He looks amazing. He looks amazing. Yeah, so these military enlistments are like really not that much of a bummer as I thought.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
So as Dio said, like, calm down. It's not like he's going to another country.
Right. And on that EXO note, it really seems like at least Sehun and Chanyeol are teasing some crazy shit. Like,
they're up to no good.
They are up to no good.
That's all I have to say about that. They're up to no good.
Yeah, Chanyeol showed his truest self because Sehun just posted, so he just posted a picture on his Instagram of like the grill of a car and like 2 legs and boots, like leaning, like
2 people clearly leaning on the hood of the car.
Contextless.
But all you can see is like knees and boots.
Contextless, nothing. Could just be an artsy
Didn't
photo.
have a caption.
Nothing.
Sehun's Instagram is like abstract bullshit anyway. Yeah. So he could have just like left it.
But Chanyeol comes into the comments, no, you have to delete this. We're not supposed to show this. Literally, no one would have known, you attention whore. No one asked. Known, and no one asked
you, Chanyeol. Sit down.
Oh my God. Yeah. So and apparently they're here in town somewhere. I feel their fuckboy energy radiating in the air.
I could tell it was humid today. Yeah, he's here somewhere with his white hair. At least it's not orange anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that was so
The
yucky.
orange was bad. Whatever.
Ooh, speaking of fashion, I feel like a thing I should mention, just to get my feelings on record. Lay got to go to the Met Gala this year.
Yes, he did, which is a fantastic honor.
And he was like but he wasn't showing up like alone on the red carpet, like, hello, it's me, Lay Zhang. He was like with a group of like 7, like very diverse model-y people showing up as Valentino's crew.
Yeah.
Anyway, his suit was horrible, and I'm really, really upset about it.
Not one piece of it was tailored, and it fit him. It hung on him like a potato sack.
Yes, and they had the fucking gall on all their social media to be like, this custom suit was made for Lay, and it was like, no way. No way is that custom. It bunched around his feet, which had sneakers on them.
It bunched around his feet. The legs were so long. They were baggy, which is why. And the suit itself, it was small in the shoulders, but really big in the waist. And it was double-breasted, which is not flattering on anyone. Ugh. No. It was horrible.
It was so horrible.
It was an atrocity. Valentino has been doing him dirty, and I don't appreciate it.
I don't appreciate it either. Like, it's not fair.
He's a beautiful person who looks beautiful in so many different clothes. Like, put him in good clothes. You.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm proud of him, but I was so excited to like hype him up. Like in my dreams, he showed up in like a cape and like looked amazing. And then I could share it all over my Twitter to my in real life friends and be like, look at my mans. But
once upon a time, Valentino did dress him well because
at
that
Valentino's own events.
Yeah, that gorgeous fuchsia coat.
Yes.
And he had
the chain glasses.
Yes, the chain. And he looked so elegant and absolutely stunning. And he's never looked that good in Valentino again. And that was from like 3 years ago? Yeah. I don't know. It feels like a lifetime ago.
They do him dirty and I don't like it. But anyway, I'm proud of him anyway. And he looked so upset at every video I saw of him at a party. Like, bless Bless him. Bless him. Because he was just like, I saw like him in like Diplo's Instagram and stuff. And it's like Kylie Jenner is like dancing. And then he's just like, oh my God, he just looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. He's just a shy boy. He doesn't like big, wild American parties. They make him scared.
He does not like to party. That is for sure. I think that's a symptom of him working too hard, and he should party. But he's there all alone. He needs a bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
he needs to be back with his
He needs
bros.
all his bros.
He needs his ex-bros.
That's my like secret wish that I'm like putting out into the universe is like the fact that they called him at Schumann's thing, and like, you know, SM is like promising like there might be some XOE things happening this year. Like even if it's just a subunit, I would like kill to just see him with any of them, even for a moment.
It would be nice if we even just like saw him at their events. Like when CBX came out last year with Blooming Days, he went to one of their stages, but we didn't get to see any pictures.
No, because they can't take pictures. So all the fans were like, we saw Leahy came out on stage, but like they take your phones away when you go in there, so nobody could take any pictures of it.
Just let us see him together.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. That sigh will lead me into another point on my checklist that a listener asked us to address. And that is that EXID is not disbanding because nobody does that anymore.
Disbanded, and they like specifically are having a comeback on May 15th.
Yes, and somebody asked, the person who asked us was like, wait, can you talk about it after it comes out and recording schedule wise? No, we can't. So we're warning you, we're telling you now so that all of you can stream it and appreciate it. But like they are doing, what happened is Hani and Jeonghwa have decided not to renew their contracts.
Yes.
And so now the girls' generation precedent that has been set now, probably thanks to like what happened to Tiara, is that people seem to make it that like if you leave, you're not allowed to say our group is disbanded. Like we can legally get back together if we want to, but we've yet to see anybody actually do that. They all have just said like, but we could.
Well, this though is the first time that they would continue afterward, right? Because contracts are not renewed
yet. I think this single is like the last one, and then it's like over.
I see.
Which is what I think Sistar did, but Sistar like disbanded. They put out a final thing and said, and that's the end of Sistar.
Right.
But now I feel like everyone's very afraid to say that it's the end of things, so they just don't.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it's like a little bittersweet. I feel like I'm just mad. I just feel bad that girl groups just seem like they can't.
They just don't have the longevity that that boy groups do, and it's a shame because EXID is a very good girl group. Like they have consistently throughout their career had like at least, you know, once they really got started, like have consistently been hits. Their style is very well formed.
Yeah.
I think they're like a group who like knows who they are. But yeah, it's too bad.
I do hope though that at the very least, just because I think it would be cool, is that Hani has said before that because she has like a master's degree or like she has like she's very educated, and she said that she would like to become a psychologist and like help idols. Like she wants to be like an idol therapist. And I think it would be really neat if that's what she was quitting to do. But there's also a very good chance she's just quitting to do TV more. But I don't know. We'll see. But I think that would be so cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Wow. Goals. But this song, the teasers are cool. They're all wearing wedding dresses in the teasers, which is very intriguing. And the song sounds, I'm curious as to what
teasers
the song will
are
be
never,
like.
I feel like, are truly never a good gauge as to what the song is going to sound like because A, it's like 15 seconds long.
Right.
B, it could be from any part of the song.
True.
And sometimes they choose to take a piece of the track, like one of the layers of it or whatever, and then the actual finished song has like 2 additional instrumental layers on top of that one that was featured in the teaser. So you never fucking know.
That's true. And sometimes they also put another song from the album in the teaser.
True.
Like, you never know.
Very
but
true.
Anyway, when this episode is out, it's out. So pause it and go watch the EXID video now, I guess, is my point. But yeah, I wish them all luck in the future. It's just like, it's a bummer. Why can't things just go on forever?
I don't know.
I don't know. Here's the next thing on my list that I just wanted to shout out because I must. It was Hyuna and Eun's 3-year anniversary the other day, which is so cute. And if you're not following P Nation on Instagram yet, like
Get on it.
Get on it. They've been posting like the best like videos, like these really cool behind the scenes videos of all of their like photo shoots, and they're very, very sweet, and I'm just really excited.
My personal favorite behind the scenes video has been one of just Psy and Hyojong, and Psy has his arm around Hyojong and they're taking pictures together, and Psy has this really cheesy like huge grin, and Hyojong looks like very serious. He's like mean mugging the camera, and Psy out of the corner of his eye like sees that Hyojong is mean mugging,
is
and
yelling,
so he like
change your expression, and he looks. And then
and he gets so serious.
His face like fall. He's such a good comedian, that Psy. He's so funny.
He's fantastic.
And
I just love the way he loves Hyojong.
I know, his like son.
He's just really taking care of him, and it's really cute.
I haven't seen the pictures, but it's in one of the behind the scenes videos. Like they took pictures where like Psy's in a chair and the girls are in their hot dresses on either side of him, and he has Hyojong just like perched on his lap like a little baby. It's the cutest. Also, his hair is like turquoise right now, which I don't know if that means comeback or if he's just bored.
He's changed his hair so many times.
I know.
In the past few months, it's not necessarily indicative of anything.
No, it's not. But I have theories. I have hopes about who's gonna come out like debut.
Who's gonna come out first
from P Nation? I feel like it would be a good idea to put Hyojong first because everybody else has like more clout than him, and that maybe it would just be like a good intro. And I liked your reasoning the other night that you think it would go Hyojong, Jessie, Hyuna, Psy.
Yeah.
To like just build to like the ultimate whatever. But Hyuna has schedules for like the next couple of months. Like she's performing at Waterbomb and like some other festivals. And she, according to the dance video she's been putting on Instagram, it seems like she got the rights to all her music back.
At least a few songs.
It's so exciting. So yeah, summer, Hyudon summer. I'm ready. Let's go. Happy anniversary. I love you guys. You had an adventure this weekend on a new social media service.
Yes,
Is
the
this
only
true?
the only piece of news that I've been catching up with is that I recently created a Weibo account, which is like basically the Chinese version of Instagram, but it's more like if you combined Instagram and Twitter, because you can just make text posts.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be photos as well. But yeah, I made it. This is the second time that I've made a Weibo account, because the first time I did it was when we were investigating the disappearance of Yenan, and I was trying to like hunt down what was happening.
Yeah.
But over the weekend, I saw a photo on Tumblr of June and Yenan and Minghao all together. This is what started it. And Yenan had posted it on his Weibo account that was like, long time no see, friends. And because I love that trio, I was like, oh my God. And it made me realize that Minghao has not posted anything in Instagram in like a really long time. Oh. So I started like searching through Tumblr for Weibo posts, and Minghao had posted this unbelievably beautiful video for Mother's Day of him and his mom dancing on a riverbank. And it was just like,
it's too nice. It's so nice.
He's just such a sweet and beautiful, classy gentleman.
Classy gentleman.
He's my softest bias. And because of him, I now follow him on Weibo, and I made a Weibo account. There is an international version. The translations are so-so. I have a automated username that I cannot figure out how to change. It has some Mandarin symbols in it and a bunch of numbers.
Oh, no.
And I follow 5 people.
Okay, who
June,
are they?
Minghao, Yenan, Lei, and Ten.
Wow. Where did that picture of Lei and Minghao come from?
Oh, that came from Minghao's Weibo account, because
Cute.
they were on whatever that produce
ripoff
Chinese show is. Yeah.
Wow. Very exciting.
I know. And it's just, they post on it a lot, but all 5 of them do post on it quite often. And it's just like sweet. And there's a lot of bromance on it, and they're all very soft and cute. And it's like a very, very pleasant place to be.
Wow. That's really nice. I've always been very intimidated by Weibo. I like assumed that it was country locked. Like I always assumed that it was like just for China and that you couldn't access it otherwise. And that's why people shared Weibo posts, like have Twitter accounts for like Weibo
I think
posts.
that they have recently expanded it because I remember when I made my first account when over the summer when we were like searching for Yan'an, it was only in Mandarin and it was very difficult to navigate and ultimately ended up being a dead end for me because I couldn't find anything. Like it was all in Mandarin and it was impossible. Like I could download it on my phone, but none of it was in English. So searching for anything was impossible. But then when I downloaded it a couple days ago, there's an international version of the app now. So I don't know how new that app is or if it's just like,
or if
I don't know if it's like a recent
illegal.
update or something. No, it's definitely not illegal.
It's not like a mirror or something.
No, it says like Weibo International.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. Then they're trying to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
So good for Weibo.
It's for real.
Because, the only thing I remember about is like when I learned about Weibo a couple of years ago, it was like no one in China is allowed to use anything. So they have to use Weibo, but no one else is allowed to use Weibo. It's just for China. Like that probably was the thing at a point.
Yeah, probably. But 10 posts a lot in English, which is nice for me. But yeah, it's lovely.
Well, that's great. If any of you listeners are Weibo people and there's someone else or other people that maybe Angelica should be following.
I don't need anyone
No, you
else.
don't need anyone else? Okay. Never mind then. She doesn't want it.
Nope. That's all I need. My little international babies.
Cute. Okay. Well, I think that's all catch up, spicy takes, anything else that I had to say about everything that we missed since we were gone. I think.
That's all I had.
Okay. Then we will move on. So today we're going to give you just a little bitty history lesson, some context to the fact that we have mentioned several times on the last 61 episodes of this show that sometimes the Korean government pays for K-pop. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, there's a certain financial and legislative support that the K-pop industry gets from the Korean government. And today we're breaking down what exactly that is and how it came to be.
Yes. So let's start with how this came to be and go back in time for a little bit. I can't remember why or when we would have brought this up before, but a refresh. In 1997, there was a massive financial crisis in Asia. It was like started in Thailand and then it just like spread from there, like panic. People pulling money, stock market crashing. It's very bad. Korea had to take out like a huge loan from the International Monetary Fund, which they found very shameful and wanted to correct as soon as possible.
I believe the crisis is called the International Monetary Fund.
Well, Korea calls
crisis,
it that,
right?
Because as one of the books I read pointed out, like that was the worst part of it was that they had to ask for money. So that's what they frame it around.
Fair enough.
Like that time we had to take out a loan. But like how are they going to bounce back from this? Because like at the time, like Korea didn't have any exports. They don't like, it's not a big country. So it's not like they're,
they weren't known for anything. They didn't really have a place on the world stage.
Yeah. And they also like, one of the things that countries sometimes do to make money is like military stuff, like weapons manufacturing or whatever. But Korea's not allowed to do that because of the US. Like we have weird sanctions on them and they're not allowed to do stuff unless we say so. So that was off the table. And then at the time, like their two biggest corporations that sort of kept the economy afloat were Samsung and Hyundai. But at the time, both companies were just like making cars, making TVs, making like clothes. Like they were just very diversified and made like all kinds of crap. And it was crappy crap. Like it was not good quality. So they felt kind of like stuck, like, are we going to get out of this hole? And then in February 1998, there was a new president who was going to be coming in. And his name was Kim Dae-jung. And what he did was like completely unheard of in that he hired a PR firm for the country, which is really weird. But like he was very inspired by how much America and the UK, how much money they made from entertainment, from movies, from music, from like that kind of stuff.
Yes. So before he became the president, he'd actually, because of like political opposition in Korea, he had been exiled from the country.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This is exciting. I love this.
So
Go.
he had been exiled and originally sentenced to death, but then
Whoa.
it was renegotiated to like 20 years of exile.
Whoa.
So he lived in the US for like his entire exile. And while he was in the US, he became very inspired by the way that the US government invested in the auto industry and the banking industry. And he sort of looked at like the reputation of the United States and thought like his main goal in hiring a PR firm later, like when he became president, and then ultimately like reshaping the funding of the government, was because he wanted to create a 21st century version of America in the 20th century, meaning like that way that America was so cool that you would buy anything they made just because they made it.
Right.
So it's this idea of like, if you promote Korean culture, you promote any culture, then the exports of your goods and services will increase because people will just like your country.
They'll just associate it with coolness.
Exactly. They'll be like, oh, America is super cool. So I want their jeans. I want their Hollywood, what culture, whatever you're going to sell me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So this PR guy wrote a book that was called Korea, On Course and Open for Business. And it was arguing that like Korea had been shut off to the world for a very, very long time, and understandably so because they'd been invaded so many times.
Sure.
So like, of course, they're, wary to like let other people in. But it was like the only way to save this nation is to just like get other people to come here and buy our stuff. And like, we have to spread out. And they argued that the best way to do this was through entertainment because only time and talent are required to create entertainment. Like,
fair.
You don't need
other resources. You don't need like fuel reserves or whatever,
just
oil fields.
Talented people. So that's where this all sort of comes to be. And like, just for history's sake, because it's interesting to go back to Samsung and Hyundai, one of the things they did during this time was be like, okay, we have to focus. So Samsung became an electronics company and Hyundai decided to only make cars. And that's how they are the like massive corporations that they are today. So one of the things that this president did is that there had always been a Ministry of Culture, like as long as there had been like Korean democracy.
Yeah, it existed in some form since 1948.
Right. But he wanted them to make this committee to make like rules that were going to sort of guide everyone into propping up like Korean entertainment.
Yeah, it was meant to invest and support in the entertainment industry, both financially and also legislatively.
Right. So some of the legislative things that they did was like cracking down on pirating so that people were making money off their stuff. They also had percentages rules for like movie theaters, where movie theaters, need to play 70% Korean movies, not foreign movies or whatever, to prop up the Korean film industry. And one of the craziest things that just the logistics of it blow my mind, is that they created rules that like norebangs and like cafes have to pay royalties to play the music. So like whatever people choose to sing in the norebang like actually then makes money for those artists, which is it's so crazy to me.
Yeah, and all of the karaoke bars have to like report their numbers as well. They have to say like these songs were played this many times, and then based on those numbers, they pay out to the artists. That's pretty wild.
But I thought it was interesting to know that because there are like 3 types of norebangs. There's like the ones that don't sell alcohol, and these are the ones that are subject to these rules. But norebangs that serve alcohol or have sexy girls in them or whatever, those are like overseen by like the alcohol, tobacco, like
sure,
like the shady, the vice,
the slightly
industry.
shadier departments.
So it's only the family-friendly norebangs that are like subject to like this
interesting distinction. I also read that some of the government, like once they decided to make this shift, and so like in in 1990 when it became, or 1998 when it became the Ministry of Culture and Tourism specifically, and like took this new path. They also invested they built the concert auditoriums like in Seoul. So they invested millions of dollars into building new auditoriums. They also invested money into refining the hologram technology.
Yes.
So like us being able to see School Oz is thanks to this Ministry of Culture and Tourism, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah. Because one of the things that we like don't talk about on the show very often, but is a big piece of this like culture and Hallyu wave and whatever, is like video games and video game technology specifically. So like, yeah, they invest in like people. Like in this book I read, they were talking about how like in the actual office or whatever, it seems like the Ministry of Culture is like a very stern, like white, serious lab where people are like trying to figure out the science of like cool shit.
Yeah.
Like it's very weird, but they like invest a lot in like lasers and cool fireworks and like video screens and holograms and like whatever that will make
like
entertainment.
Breaking down formulas to figure out what is cool.
What is cool?
These like sociological trends broken down into algebraic formulas.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I imagine. I have no concrete proof that that's how it works.
But it works. And so I've always wondered about the money. And of course, it's hard to get like actual figures about the money because nobody wants to talk about that stuff. But from what I gathered is that the actual like department now it's called the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism.
Yeah.
And it has like 60 divisions that all work on hella specific stuff. But that there's like, as of 2013, there was like a $50 million budget for this department. And then they allocate their funds as they see fit. But from what we understand, like K-pop companies or whatever get their like government stipend every year. I don't know how they decide who gets what or how much money they get. But that happens.
Yes. So like part of this budget is allocated for a category that's just called Hallyu. So you can get some information about like how much money was given to that particular department, but the government doesn't release itemized breakdowns.
Right.
And one of the sort of like slight controversies with this government funding is determining what makes up Hallyu and like how much each division of Hallyu like gets. So for example, like the K-pop industry is one part of the Hallyu wave, but so is like the fashion industry and the food industry and the beauty industry. And so those different industries have all had like lobbying groups trying to lobby the department for like more money.
Right.
And the main argument is that they give too much money to K-pop and they like don't support the other divisions of Hallyu enough.
Yeah, another thing I was reading was saying because of that, like because K-pop gets all of the attention that like we talked about in our commercials episode, like corporations have realized, like my book called it One Hand Washes the Other. Like when it comes to like K-pop, is that people realize that if they put money in K-pop, like that they will get it back. Like it's like a good investment for everybody. That like if Baskin Robbins pays Big Bang to be in their Baskin Robbins commercial, like then everybody wins.
Both companies make
so it's
money.
like people have to like get their hands into K-pop because like that's where all the resources go to.
It also is argued like from a marketing perspective the easiest way to get your product out to a wide audience.
Oh yeah, because there are people like a glued audience who will watch it, whatever it is you want them to see.
And there's kind of already a guaranteed like selling point because you know if you get a big enough name, like if BTS puts their name on a cell phone, like you know a guaranteed like least million people will buy that cell phone or whatever, however much it is, like just because it says BTS on it.
Or even the things where it's like, oh, so and so was seen walking into Music Bank like drinking this kind of tea, and then like now everybody wants it.
And then the tea sells out or whatever. Yeah.
Right. But back to the money thing, I thought this was interesting is that like, so we said there's this government fund where people are like getting their government grants, but the government also puts like 20 to 30% of the total budget into the Korean Venture Investment Corporation. Which is just like a massive investment firm that's like got money from the government and from corporations and private funders and international funders and anybody who wants to put their money in this investment pool. From what I read, they put most of the money into movie production because that's the thing that costs the most.
Sure.
But nobody knows like how much K-pop or stuff is funded with this because it's just venture capital. It's billionaires they just throw the money at stuff and see what sticks. But
And it's their own money, so they don't really have to report to anyone what they did with it or how much they spent.
Or got back. That's their problem. But it was just interesting because K-pop, as opposed to like other entertainment industries, is a very long game without promise of returns. Which is, I think, why so many in like of these groups we've seen like in our random game or whatever, these little bitty companies that just like fold because you're basically putting money into like a kid for like 7 years. Just like this book I read.
And hoping that 7 years later they'll be popular.
Yes, this book I read said that you're just basically like you are paying to be a babysitter for a very long time. And then like hoping that the baby will make you your money back. And a very huge amount of time they don't. Yeah. Which is why all of those things fold. Yeah. Which is a bummer. But yeah, it's like it's not a easy. People have patience when it comes to K-pop because it takes time. If you do it right, the time pays off for you, but it could also sink you really hard.
Easily. And even if you do make it big when you debut, there's no guarantee of your longevity, as we mentioned at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah. And then one interesting, like shady thing that we know happened is when the former president, Park Geun-hye, like went to jail. She was the president. She was very corrupt. They threw her out. She is in jail now. They discovered that she had a 60-page blacklist that had 9,473 names on it of like artists and whatever who were blacklisted from receiving their government funding because they had criticized her before. There was one K-pop group on it, Hotshot.
That's why we knew Hotshot. I knew their name sounded familiar.
Hotshot, right?
I thought it was Hotshot.
Hold on. I had a
because we've mentioned the blacklist once before, at least. I don't remember when or why or in what episode.
Me either.
But I know that we've talked briefly about
24K was on the blacklist. That's who it was.
Okay, but I still think Hotshot's name sounds familiar, and therefore
somebody told us. Somebody messaged us. Timoteo from Hotshot is one of Taemin's best friends.
Yeah, but I don't think that's why.
I don't think it does either.
I would know that.
But former random game group 24K was the only K-pop group on this massive list. It was mostly like performance artists and like theater, like play people who are writing art about the president is bad. Right. But nobody knows why 24K was on this list. Like,
yeah, but it was included in their Wikipedia page. I remember when we got them in the random game. Like, maybe that's why we brought this up. Yeah, because we got them in the random game. But yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she had a blacklist. So there were a bunch of people who weren't getting their art funding like they were promised because the president didn't like it. But it's also weird because the book that I got a lot of this information from, The Birth of Korean Cool by Yoon Hyung, I've mentioned it before, was written like when she was not disgraced and was like still the president. And they talked about how she like increased the funding for the Ministry of Culture like tenfold. And it was like $5 billion. Like, wow, she had put a whole bunch of money into it. She didn't get to reap the benefits, but everybody else did.
Put a whole bunch of money in it so that she could control who got it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, a lot of people do definitely like criticize this as a thing, like, and say that, you know, K-pop is only popular because the government like forces people to like it. But like one government official like defended themselves and said that like this isn't up to the government, it's up to the people to buy the thing. Like we are just helping, we're just pushing them along a little bit. Because the government is also responsible for like censoring K-pop and like the child protection laws are super, super vague. So it like, I think we've talked about this before, but they get applied very unfairly. And the things that get pulled from TV and radio, like there's no consistency to it.
There's no rhyme or reason. It seems very random. So yeah, there's like also this weird controlling hand that sometimes the government plays into it. But also I feel like, I mean, first of all, the claim that the government is forcing people to like it is just silly because like how?
Yeah, you can't make people
someone to like it. But I don't know. I think personally, I feel like it's pretty genius to invest in this soft power that is it is a relatively harmless industry when you compare it to the U.S. backing of the auto industry, which has like wreaked havoc on the planet, the U.S. investment in the banking industry, which wreaked havoc on the U.S.'s economy. And then you have like, okay, well, let's invest in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And like,
it's much better than building rockets
major
and
crises
bombs.
are not, are not a domino effect of making K-pop. So
yeah,
at least so far.
And then I just had to like, as a button on this, like to say like, did it work? I think we can objectively say that it did work.
Yeah, it did.
And just like one figure, I wish I had more updated figures, but in 1998, when this was all starting, Korea said that they had 300,000 tourists that year that came to Korea. Most of them were from China. But in 2014, 12 million people came to visit. So like that is a huge, huge amount. And I saw something the other day that said that like when they poll tourists in Seoul or whatever, 3 out of 10 of them say that BTS is the reason they came to Seoul. And then like 3 more out of 10 just say K-pop in general. So it's like K-pop itself is just bringing so many people. I mean, we went to go look at K-pop stuff, so it works. And yeah, according to an article I read this week, K-pop is now a $5 billion industry. So
I don't find that hard to believe at all.
I think they did it.
I think they did too.
But yeah, I just thought it would be nice to talk about that someday. Like, and I'm glad we got it out because this is all very like interesting,
I think it's interesting.
And it's nice that Korea like is supporting the arts because we've had a terrible time the last like 15 years in America with them just constantly cutting arts and public TV and like we don't care about promoting our art, and Hollywood has nothing to do with the government. It's just like a couple of people getting very rich by themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you go, Korea.
Yeah, way to pull yourselves
invest.
up and be a team about it.
And
it's very
thanks,
impressive.
because I'm very happy with the addition of K-pop in my life.
Me too.
I wouldn't have had it without
you.
The Ministry of Culture
Thanks,
and Tourism.
Ministry of Culture, Sports,
and Tourism.
All right, we'll be right back with our random game. Okay, we're back.
And we got a group called Snooper. A 6-member boy group, which means higher than super. They were formed by an entertainment group in 2015 where it was their first K-pop group for the label.
Yeah,
so,
Widmay Entertainment.
Yeah, always a gamble when it's your very first one. But let's see, they came out in 2015. Are they technically still together?
I don't see a disbandment on here, but I also couldn't find very much information about them at all anyway.
And their Wikipedia page is very sparse. It just lists the members and then lists their discography. It really doesn't have any information about their history or anything.
Scrolling their member profile, a couple of them are Japanese. But
interesting.
I couldn't figure it out. But according to this Wikipedia, they put out 6 albums.
Yeah, they've come out with a lot of different music pretty consistently, like 1 or 2 a year from 2015 to 2018. And 4 of those albums reached number 4 on the chart. So
yeah, they're
not
not
so bad.
no one. But yeah, they have like a bunch of singles that like did okay. Most of them seem to chart very well in Japan, so maybe they are.
And it seems like lately, because in 2019, the only thing they've come out with has been Japanese. And it seems like since 2016, they've been putting a lot of emphasis on their Japanese stuff. So maybe that's where their focus is now, especially if some of their members are Japanese.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But they won some awards in 2016, 17, and 18 Asia Artist Awards.
Yeah, they won 2 Asia Artist Awards 2 years in a row. They won an Asian Model Award, which I don't even know what that is. But yeah, let's check them out.
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see whatever music video we get.
Snooper.
Very intrigued. That's SNUPER.
Yeah, I spelled it with 2 O's and that was incorrect.
Snooper. All right, view count. Let's see. Okay. Oh, nope. Their most viewed video is a concert footage of them doing a cover of a Vietnamese song.
So let's do Platonic Love.
Okay,
that was one
go.
of their singles.
There we go. Okay. This has 1.2 million views. It was from 3 years ago. Platonic Love. Released March 8th, 2016.
Went to number 13.
Looks glowy and it looks like there's nice smiley boys, so I'm ready.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Is this at a roller rink?
Oh,
Yes, it is. A neon roller rink. Oh, it's so 90s.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like that glowy 80s, 70s. It's like disco glow.
But with the little like VHS play, I guess it's more 80s.
Yeah.
So they're
song?
in a roller rink and the boys are like dancing on stage or on the roller rink, but also featured in like a VHS game. It has like captions on it sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, and they just made the girl, they like zapped the girl away.
So it's also kind of a video game?
But I also feel like I've seen every single one of these outfits before. Like,
Oh,
in
100%.
in like someone else's music video. I don't know. It's a very, it's familiar. Everything about this just feels familiar.
The outfits are very shiny view.
Oh.
One of them has pants just like that one is like a
that's like
Mino outfit.
exactly the outfit. Yeah. Wow. That bucket hat and overalls has been done by 17 before. Oh, the girl is...
That one is like BSS. Just do it. Although I guess this would have come out before that.
I love this. This song even sounds 80s. It's very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this is cute.
They keep zapping the girl away.
Yeah, the special effects are weird.
I don't know what's happening.
But the choreography is cute and the boys are cute. They're very smiley.
Yeah,
and
they're
very
not
young.
trying to be broody. They're just being cute and fun. Even though they're singing about platonic love, they're doing okay. Oh, they're cleaning up the roller rink.
They're mopping. These video game graphics are really cute and very silly.
Oh, whoa.
Ooh, suits! A new set.
We're getting like a very short flash of them like in suits in a white room.
There we go.
Key
Oh.
change.
Key change and outfit
Oh,
change.
and there
There's
was, like,
white suits too.
Oh my god!
Ooh, we just turned it up.
Wow, the tails.
Those white suits.
And the lining on these suits is so shiny.
And the lining of the white suits is blue. It really pops.
Wow, look at him go.
Oh look, they're actually on roller skates. Wow, for the first time in this whole video.
Wow.
Aw, cute.
Snooper Platonic
Snooper.
Love. That was
was cute.
cool. Well, let's see if they come out with anything else in the near future. Because if they've already put out a Japanese album this year, who knows?
At
The
least a
Korean one could
Japanese
be
single.
coming.
I don't know if it was a full album, but good luck, boys, wherever you may be.
Yeah, cool. Snooper. The first comment on this YouTube thing says the S in Snooper stands for stop sleeping on them. They deserve better. Yeah. I feel like maybe that's the reason I've heard the name of this group before is on those lists that people make on Tumblr all the time of like, these are the boy groups that no one pays attention to. And there's like always a few on the list. And maybe that's where I've seen their name a million times.
Maybe. That's why I know Uptension's name.
Yeah. Well, that was really good.
Yeah.
All right. It's weekly recommendation time. What do you have to recommend, girl?
My weekly recommendation is the newest song by NCT Wavy, which is their Chinese unit and the only sub unit so far that I really care about. And their newest song is called Take Off. And I really like it. I feel like it's because I've said this before, but NCT, their music is very loud for me sometimes. And it's like, I don't know, it's just not as melodic as I would like
Right.
it. It's very noisy. But this song is very melodic and I like it a lot. The music video is fun. It has a lot of like gratuitous 10 spotlights, which is my favorite. And I like it. It's a fun dance and a good song.
Yeah, it is a good dance and it is a fun song.
Yeah. And I feel like Win-Win's fans are finally being like served. They've been complaining forever about how overlooked he is. And he did that dance solo with 10. And I think he's the shirtless one in this.
Yeah, I did see.
In this episode, in this music video.
I did see some funny tweets about, people being like, give Win-Win lines, give Win-Win this. And then like picture of Win-Win shirtless, like, we didn't ask for this. Like,
we didn't ask for this.
it's not what they wanted.
That's
it's
true.
not
That's
what
true.
they wanted.
But he has lines too. He has lines too.
So good for him. My recommendation this week is kind of odd in that it's not really music, but it's a thing that I have found myself surprisingly enjoying lately. And that is Shonu from Monsta X has a TV show on the M2 YouTube channel that's called Yum Yum Yum. That is with Nunu. He calls himself Nunu on the show. And it's just a mukbang, like somewhat, it's just a eating in front of the camera show. But every episode is like a different topic. He either goes to a restaurant or they bring something to him. And he'll just like eat the food and talk about it. And then the second half is what they call, I can't remember what they call it, but it's some kind of play on the word Michelin star. Like, and that's when Shonu comes up with his own recipe for something where like if it's the pork cutlet episode, then they give him a pork cutlet and like a bunch of other weird condiments and like stuff and let him try to make his own best version of the thing. Every episode is like 30 minutes to an hour long. Like it is a long show. It's like every episode is subtitled perfectly and there's like it's edited really crazy, like not quite in a Trixie and Katya way, like 20% of that, but there is a lot of like funny
graphics.
Because he sits in front of a green screen, so they like do funny stuff behind him or they like pull up old clips. And it's like, I don't know, it's just really pleasant. And I never thought I would like an eating show. Like that seems like not my deal, but I've just really been enjoying this one. Shonu's a very good host. Because he just like, I don't know, he's just real chill. And he's just like eating his food. And it's just nice to hang out with him for an hour while he eats things that he likes.
Oh, that's really cute.
So that's my recommendation. Nom nom.
With Nunu.
With Nunu on M2.
Nunu. Wow. That's a cute nickname I didn't need to know that he had.
It is very cute. And then on an episode, he had Wonho come on and he made him call himself Ho Ho for the episode because he was like, that's how my show works.
He is a ho-ho.
Ho. Yeah, that's a very good nickname for him. All right, that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to do another group deep dive. I won't tell you who yet. You can guess in your mind who you think we might be talking about yet. I want to leave some intrigue. So come back next week for that. And if you want to get a hold of us in the meantime or follow along what we're doing, we can be found on social media at AMA Kpop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod.tumblr.com for links, sort of, amakpoppod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. And that's all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jonghyun, your inspiration.